Hey y'all, this is Ken Allen. I'm doing my first off-the-cuff live video on Facebook, and I've been traveling around most of the day. I had to go up into Kentucky to let a guy look at my pickup that I'm trying to sell, and I heard a parable from a TED Talk. I don't know if any of you are familiar with TED Talks, but if you are, you'll know what I'm talking about. If you're not, Google it, because it's some of the best and most inspiring talks that I have had the privilege of hearing. But one of the speakers gave a parable that I just thought was mind-blowing to me, and it went something like this. An old man had a horse that ran away one day, and his neighbor said, "Oh, that's terrible." And the guy said, "Good or bad, it's hard to tell." Well, the next day, his horse comes back, and along with the horse, he brings 7 wild horses. And the neighbor tells the guy, "Man, that is most fortunate luck." And the guy says, "Good or bad, it's hard to tell." So then the next day, his son gets out and he's riding one of the wild horses, and the horse throws him and breaks the son's leg. And the neighbor comes by again. He says, "That is most unfortunate luck there." And the guy said, "Good or bad, it's hard to tell." So then the next day, a bunch of soldiers comes by, and they're recruiting young men into the army. And they take a look at the son and his banged up leg, and they pass him over. Once again, the neighbor says, "That is really fortunate luck." And the guy says, "Good or bad, it's hard to tell." Now, that's where she ended the parable, which left the rest of us to be contemplating what the meaning of it was. But the meaning to me was very clear, and that is, regardless of what happens to us on a daily basis, any event, whether it is tragedy or fortune, it's hard to tell which one it is. And the opinion that we have of that event is what shapes our entire life. I've seen a lot of stories from people recently that have been working for years with a company and suddenly get laid off or get downsized and they no longer have a job. Well, to that person, they have 2 choices. That one choice is that this is the most unfortunate piece of luck that they've got. The other side of it could be, this is the most fortunate piece of luck that I've got, because it could go either way just based on how you interpret it and how you feel. And this is a real lesson for life, and this is kind of what caught me and made me want to get on here and talk to you guys today. We have the experience that we go through that we call life. And there's no way that you can go through this experience and not have good things, quote, good things, and quote, bad things happen to you. They can either be devastating or they can be uplifting. They can be empowering. They can be inspiring. Some people look at the worst possible thing in life and see it as an opportunity. I read a couple stories of people this week who, like as I was saying earlier, had lost their job, had been downsized, and they were left with basically no options. Now, if you're a person my age, which I'm 65, and many of us at 65 are still working, But at 65, if you lose a job that you had for 20 years, you know, in my generation, we still work at the same job for 20 years. But if you've been in that position where you've spent your life trying to be loyal to a company or a boss and to do your best, produce the best that you can, and then suddenly you're just cut loose, it's very debilitating. The other side of that is that the possibility of a person my age going out into the job market and finding a job that pays more than minimum wage is slim to none. So that's the options that we're left with. We are left with either falling down on our face and lamenting about the fact that we've lost our income, or we get up and we go to McDonald's and get us a job making minimum wage flipping hamburgers. But there's a third option. The third option is that you reinvent yourself, that you start your own business. And that's what Brenda and I have done. We decided to start our own business and to build that business so that we can not have to depend on another income. Brenda still works full-time. I'm probably one of the fortunate few that have retired. Now, it was not necessarily a retirement, well, I have to back up on that. It was a retirement of choice because we opened a restaurant, which we thought was going to be the best thing since sliced cheese, and come find out it was a little more involved than what we had planned for financially. And we ended up not only losing all that we had put up as far as savings in retirement, but we also lost money out of our own pocket because we had to continue. I kept trying to continue struggling at the restaurant, trying to get it to go. Had really great food, had customers that just raved about my barbecue, but there just weren't enough of them. Long story short, ended up closing it because we had finally just gone to the point that we were putting more money into it than we would ever be able to see out of it. So I retired simply because I didn't have a whole lot of other choices. I could have gone back and done inspection work in the refineries, but again, at 65, that gets to be a pretty daunting task. I'm a little bit too old in the tooth to be flying around the United States, staying in hotels and for months at a time and crawling in and out of tiny little spaces. I know I'm kind of rambling, but this just popped in my head. We've got a crate that our dog sleeps in at night. And the other day, and this is like a 2 foot by 2 foot, or maybe 3 foot by 3 foot by 4 feet long crate. It's a pretty good sized crate. But anyway, I was messing with one of the grandkids and just wanted to see if I could get into that thing, because I used to have to crawl into spaces like that. The difference is I didn't have wire around me. It was closed in and not a place that you'd want to be claustrophobic in. But anyway, long story short, I did get into that spot, got into it and was able to close the door and didn't really impress nobody but me. But I digress. But anyway, that was not an option for me because doing that for 12 hours a day, 7 days a week for a month or so at a time wears on the body. It wore on my body. So that was not an option for me. So getting back to where I was, Brenda and I had decided to start our own business. And this is something that's available to people my age, people much younger than me, because it's an opportunity that you can do something that cannot be taken away from you. So regardless of where you stand on home-based business or whatever, the business opportunity that you're faced with, take a serious look at it, because it is not just something that you play around with. It is a livelihood that you can build. And regardless of whether you have the most fortunate events happen to you or the least fortunate events happen to you, you can weather those storms because it's yours. It's not going to be taken away from you, and you can decide to see the good in whatever it is that comes before you, because you see a picture that is out there of a goal that you want to reach. Our goal is to be completely debt-free and to be able to spend time with our grandkids and build memories with them that cannot have a price put on them. So anyway, I just wanted to kind of share those few things with you today, and hope that maybe something that I said will encourage you, or at least get you to think. I know one of the things that makes me more inspired than anything is somebody that says something that makes me go, huh? And then you have to think about it, because once I start thinking about something, it's going to develop into a major thought for me. And again, I'll apologize to you if you can't see me very well because of the lighting. I am in my truck, and I'm sitting here waiting to pick up my granddaughter from elementary school. So if you can't see me, sorry about that. I know I'm a pleasure to look at, but hopefully you heard me, and you'll think about some things that I said. So have a great day out there. For those of you that I see Marvin is watching, and I know where he is more than likely. So Marvin, just be careful where you are. Be smart about what you do, and get home safe. EJ, I appreciate you watching. Good to see you on Facebook from time to time, and I really appreciate y'all taking a minute just to sit and listen to me ramble on. So have a great day. Peace to everybody. See ya. Bye.